Hi friends, I'm so excited to share with you some small space decorating tips and ideas, so let's get started. So many of you know I have had the lovely opportunity to live in several small spaces, and being a military spouse and traveling with my husband, we lived in some challenging spaces. And so I was so super excited to team up with my friends at Cost Plus World Market. They are the sponsors of this video, and they sent me to New York to tour their tiny house in the middle of Herald Square. It was so much fun. The public got to come and tour the house. I got to go and spend so much time in the space, and I really got inspired because I could not believe all of the aspects of a home that was in this tiny space. And it just confirmed for me that what I have been telling everyone for so many years is it does not matter the size of your home. It can be beautiful, it can be fabulous, and it can be comfortable. So if you're not familiar with Cost Plus World Market, they are a specialty retailer and they have everything from the floor to the ceiling. You can really go into that store and it's a one-stop shop. Many of you know, if you've been on my channel, you know I'm always in World Market. That's my store. They have things from rugs to lighting. They have decor galore. They have all your specialty foods. They have kitchenware, everything, dishes. And many of you know many of my dishes are from World Market. So it's just really a one-stop, wonderful place to shop. And so all of the things that they put in this tiny house was simply fabulous. So friends, I'm super excited. So let's jump into the tips. I want to kind of take you through the space and share with you some of the things that I think are wonderful for small space living. First is in the kitchen. I was amazed that they had a stove and they had the sink and they had, this house had everything. Starting with this bar cart. You know I love a bar cart, and this is a perfect space in this kitchen to have one because it can double as your table. You can slide it into the living room, you can have your breakfast here, and it really served a great purpose. And then when you're not using it as a table, you can use it to store some of your kitchen items. It's really a great tool. So a bar cart is such a multifunctional decor piece to put in your home because you can use it in so many ways. Of course, you can use it in the typical fashion of being a bar cart and putting different beverages on it when you're entertaining, or make it a water cart. Or, like they did here, they're using it in the kitchen to really store some of the necessities, some of the entertaining pieces, some books, and it really is a great place because it has the two tiers to handle a lot of objects. And then one thing I love a bar cart for is using it as an office because you can put glasses on there to hold your paper clips and different things like that. No one would know the difference that it was an office. They would look over there and think it was a beautiful bar cart, not knowing that your stapler was tucked into one of the boxes on the cart. But it really is something that is very mobile, so you really can just easily move it around, which makes it perfect for small space living. So many would think putting a dish rack on the counter doesn't make sense in a small space because you're taking up counter space, but it makes so much sense in this space because it doubles, again, going back to that multifunctional, it doubles as your kitchen cabinet. As you wash your dishes, you can put them right into the dish rack, what you typically would do, but you don't have to move them. They stay right there, and that's where they're stored. Now, this is saving you a step from having to put it in the counter, and it's really making great use of the space. So, of course, drawers are valuable real estate in any tiny space, but what you can do is use canisters. You all know in my kitchen, I use my kitchen canisters as my junk drawer. And they have this beautiful cactus canister here, which is so fun and whimsy and fits the vibe of this space. And I think it's wonderful to store things like all of those randoms that you want to put in a typical junk drawer, such as pins or tape and scissors and all those little knickknacks that you need to kind of like function around your home. You can put in this one little space and it can be your junk drawer. And friends, of course, that vertical storage, that vertical space is so valuable because it is that open space that's typically not used. And one thing I can say about Cost Plus World Market is that they really utilize their vertical space in this home, and you'll see that as I take you through the home. And this in the kitchen is great because you have kitchen cabinets in addition to your kitchen rack. And you can put all of your dishware here and they easily stack. And it's also your decor because by putting your beautiful dishes here, it serves as your decor. The same as the teapot here on the stove. I thought that this was so stunning and beautiful to see on the stove. It functions because you need it to make your tea, but simply even seeing this piece, and World Market has so many beautiful pieces that you just want them to sit out. They just look gorgeous sitting out. And that just is doubling. It's multifunctional. It's your decor and it's your teapot. Another thing is pots and pans. You know that they can be difficult to store in a tiny space. Well, in this space, I recommend doing exactly what World Market did. They left the pot on the stove. Why not? That's where you're going to use it. That's where you keep it. And as far as your baking pans, leave them in the oven because that's where you bake. And when you go to use it, just pull it out, use it, and then put it right back into the oven, and you have perfect storage. Another thing that I really liked was the Lazy Susan. I thought that it was great because they put a ton of items on here. You could put all of your kitchen necessities on here. You could even put a cup with spoons in it. And with it being a Lazy Susan, it makes it easy to access everything, so you can really fill this baby up and still easily get to all of your items. I had to Instagram you when I was up in New York to show you the entryway because I was so amazed that this tiny home had an entryway. As soon as I walked in, it was so welcoming to come into the entryway of the tiny home. It had a beautiful, absolutely beautiful cabinet on the side here, and then the cutest decorative pieces sitting on there. But what I noticed is they all had function. You know, they had a place where you could sit your keys or your items. The cabinet was a place where you could store your shoes or a variety of things, that even dishes if you needed to in a small space. So it really was very useful. I also love that they had this vertical space taken care of, and that's where you could hang your bags and your hat. And the great thing about it is these are just everyday items, but they look so beautiful and they are the decor of the space. So it's a combination of that function and decor. And the great thing about World Market is their pieces, their furniture pieces and their items are made for urban living. They're made for that small space living. So it really does not feel like you're overwhelmed, and it doesn't feel like the furniture is too small or too large. It's just like the perfect fit. So now let's move into the bedroom. And of course, this tiny home had a bedroom, and it was so cozy and inviting, and where you could literally come here, go to sleep, and probably did not want to get out of bed until probably about noon the next day because of the coziness. But I love that they incorporated a bedroom in the space along with a cabinet for you to put your clothes in. How amazing is that? And it's just how you do things and where you place things, and taking advantage of all the nooks and crannies was wonderful. It's about making that statement. And I love that Cost Plus World Market has those fabrics and textures and things like that that really can make a statement in your space. And then as far as the organization, utilize those decorative pillows. A lot of times your decorative pillows will have zippers on them so that you can tuck things into them. That's the perfect spot to hide your jewelry or important documents. When you have a small space, you have to get creative and use every nook and cranny you can find to store your things. So friends, I love that this home had every aspect needed to live. We all want a beautiful home, whether large or tiny, and we want it on a budget. And that's the great thing about World Market, is that you can find things that are unique to your style on a budget. So if you have not been by World Market, go by your local store and also check them out at worldmarket.com. I'll put the link in the description box below. I hope you have gotten inspired today. It has been so much fun sharing these tips with you and sharing the World Market tiny house with you. I hope you all are having a fantastic week. I will see you at the next video. And this is Nikki saying goodbye.